leading a national team that had lost the belief of an entire country, and within just a few years transforming it into one of the greatest dynasties rugby has ever seen. Now imagine doing it while facing relentless criticism, controversial decisions, constant media scrutiny, and the pressure of carrying a nation's hopes on your shoulders. This isn't the story of a perfect coach. It's the story of a man who refused to follow the traditional path. A man whose methods divided opinions but whose results became impossible to ignore. Today, we're exploring the incredible journey of Rassie Erasmus, the mastermind behind South Africa's modern rugby revolution, and why his mission is far from over. As the Springboks prepare for the years ahead with Erasmus committed to leading the team toward the 2031 Rugby World Cup, one question remains: can this legendary coach build an even greater legacy than the one he has already created? Before we dive deeper, tell us in the comments, do you believe Rassie Erasmus is already the greatest rugby coach of the modern era, or does he still have something left to prove? Your opinion might be different from everyone else's, and we'd love to hear it. As dramatic music builds, sweeping aerial shots capture packed stadiums across South Africa, fans dressed in green and gold waving flags, children wearing Springbok jerseys, and slow-motion moments of iconic tackles, celebrations, and emotional victories. The atmosphere isn't just about rugby. It's about identity. It's about hope. It's about a nation finding unity through sport. Long before lifting trophies, Rassie Erasmus understood something many people overlooked. Winning matches wasn't enough. The Springboks needed to believe in themselves again, and the supporters needed a reason to believe too. When Erasmus returned to South African rugby in 2018, expectations were enormous. The team had endured difficult years. Confidence had faded. Critics questioned whether South Africa could ever return to the summit of world rugby. Every press conference carried pressure. Every team announcement sparked debate. Every defeat became headline news. Yet behind closed doors, Erasmus wasn't simply preparing game plans. He was rebuilding a culture. Visuals transitioned to training grounds at sunrise. Players arrive before dawn. Boots crunch across wet grass. Coaches study footage. Whiteboards fill with tactical notes. Slow-motion close-ups show determined faces preparing for another demanding session. Success at the international level isn't created during 80 minutes on the weekend. It's built through thousands of unseen moments. Endless meetings. Difficult conversations, brutal conditioning sessions, tactical innovations, honest feedback, shared sacrifices. These are the invisible foundations of championship teams. Erasmus believed that every player, every coach, and every staff member had to buy into one vision. That vision demanded accountability. Nobody could hide. Nobody could rely on reputation alone. Every selection had to be earned. Every performance mattered. That mentality slowly transformed the squad into one of rugby's most disciplined and mentally resilient teams. The documentary now reflects on the emotional connection between the coach and his players. For Erasmus, leadership wasn't only about tactics. It was about trust. Players repeatedly spoke about clarity, communication, and understanding exactly what was expected from them. When athletes know their role and trust the people leading them, confidence grows naturally. Confidence then becomes composure under pressure. Composure wins championships. Visuals cut between dramatic match footage, tactical analysis graphics, slow-motion scrums, line-outs, and celebrations after crucial victories. Every championship team develops an identity. Some rely on flair, others rely on speed. The Springboks became known for physical dominance, relentless defense, tactical intelligence, and extraordinary depth. Their famous bench became more than a group of substitutes. It became a strategic weapon capable of changing the momentum of the biggest matches. Yet greatness rarely arrives without controversy. Throughout his career, Erasmus often found himself at the center of heated debates. His outspoken opinions, willingness to challenge convention, and readiness to defend his team generated headlines around the rugby world. Supporters admired his honesty. Critics questioned his methods. Every major decision seemed to spark passionate discussions across television studios, newspapers, podcasts, and social media. But perhaps that constant scrutiny became part of the environment that strengthened the Springboks. Pressure wasn't avoided, it was embraced. Every criticism became another opportunity to improve. Every obstacle became motivation. As dramatic orchestral music rises, visuals show rain pouring over empty stadium seats before transitioning into packed arenas roaring with emotion. Rugby isn't simply a physical contest. It's psychological warfare. Momentum changes in seconds. Confidence can disappear after one mistake. Champions are defined by how they respond when everything starts going wrong. Time and again, South Africa found ways to stay composed when the pressure reached its highest point. Those moments became defining chapters in the team's modern history. Behind every trophy presentation lies disappointment the cameras rarely show. Injuries, selection heartbreak, exhausting rehabilitation, missed opportunities, personal sacrifices, families waiting at home, countless hours spent away from loved ones. International rugby demands extraordinary commitment. Coaches carry a different burden. Players eventually leave the field. Coaches continue analyzing every decision long after the final whistle. They replay substitutions, tactics, interviews, and moments that could have changed everything. Erasmus has often described how returning to the Springboks environment feels familiar because everyone inside the camp has experienced both incredible highs and painful setbacks together. Those shared experiences build trust that cannot be manufactured overnight. The documentary now widens its focus beyond one individual. Rugby in South Africa carries historical significance unlike almost anywhere else in the sporting world. Victories resonate far beyond the scoreboard. They inspire communities, unite generations, and create memories that families share for decades. Children watching today's heroes become tomorrow's internationals. Every successful generation leaves a blueprint for the next. Erasmus understood that coaching wasn't simply about winning one tournament. It was about creating sustainable excellence that could last for years. That ambition explains why long-term planning became such an important part of the Springboks philosophy. Developing young players, building squad depth, managing workloads, and preparing for future World Cups require patience few people ever see. Fans celebrate spectacular victories. Coaches spend years building toward those moments. Around the halfway point of our journey, we want to hear from you again. Which moment in Rassie Erasmus' coaching career impressed you the most? Was it transforming the team's culture, handling immense pressure, or consistently finding ways to keep South Africa among rugby's elite? Share your thoughts below because every rugby fan sees this story differently. And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the game beyond the headlines, consider supporting the channel with a like and subscribing for more documentaries exploring the stories behind sport's greatest moments. Now the music softens. Visuals slow down. Erasmus walks alone across an empty stadium after training. The seats are silent. Floodlights illuminate the grass. Championships are celebrated publicly, but preparation happens in solitude. Leadership often feels lonely. Decisions affecting careers cannot satisfy everyone. Selecting one player means disappointing another. Choosing one strategy means accepting the risks that come with it. These are the realities every international coach faces. Looking ahead, the challenge becomes even greater. Remaining successful is harder than becoming successful. Rivals study every tactical innovation. Opponents analyze every weakness. Expectations grow higher with each victory. Maintaining hunger after reaching the top demands extraordinary leadership. This is where Erasmus' next chapter becomes fascinating. Extending his commitment through 2031 isn't simply about staying in the job longer. It's about proving that sustained excellence is possible in one of the world's most competitive sports. Can another generation be inspired? Can new stars emerge? Can the Springboks continue adapting as rugby evolves? These questions will define the years ahead. Visuals transition into young academy players training, community rugby fields, children practicing passes after school, and future hopefuls dreaming of wearing the green jersey. Every dynasty eventually depends on the next generation. The greatest coaches don't simply collect trophies. They leave systems that continue producing success long after they depart. Perhaps that will become Erasmus' greatest achievement. Not merely the championships, but the culture he helped establish. A culture where preparation outweighs excuses, teamwork overcomes individual ambition, resilience defeats adversity, and belief becomes stronger than doubt. The final minutes become increasingly emotional. Slow-motion highlights celebrate unforgettable Springbok moments while orchestral music reaches its climax. Stadium lights glow against the evening sky. Fans sing together. Players embrace after exhausting battles. Coaches exchange quiet smiles knowing how much work happened behind every celebration. Great sporting stories are never just about winning. They're about perseverance, reinvention, sacrifice, leadership, courage under unimaginable pressure. Whether history ultimately remembers Rassie Erasmus as the greatest rugby coach of his generation or simply one of the most influential figures the sport has ever produced, one fact remains undeniable. He changed the direction of South African rugby when belief seemed fragile. His journey reminds us that lasting success rarely arrives through shortcuts. It is earned through countless unseen decisions made long before anyone lifts a trophy. As the road toward 2031 unfolds, the world will be watching to see whether another remarkable chapter is about to begin. One thing is certain, the story of Rassie Erasmus is still being written, and the next pages may become the most extraordinary of them all. When the final whistle eventually blows on this remarkable coaching career, the trophies will matter, the victories will be remembered, but perhaps the greatest legacy will be the inspiration left behind for every young player who dares to dream of wearing the Springbok jersey and believing that impossible achievements can become reality.